Good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here today to explain why we do what we do at Nutrition for Education and Development and share our vision. In 2050, Africa's population is predicted to be 2.4 billion people. That's actually double the current population. 1 person in 4 is going to be African. So you can imagine the demographic power that represents. 43% of them are going to be the active population. That range between 24 and 65 years old. So it means that today, a good portion of that population is already born. However, current research shows that some 58 million of our children under 5-year-old are stunted. So that's a form of malnutrition, a public health issue that has been affecting us for years and costing us 11% of our GDP every single year as a continent. What is stunting? As you can see, the child on the right is growing normally, but the two others are affected by a different form of malnutrition. The one in the middle is wasted. Wasting is a form of malnutrition, an acute form of malnutrition that comes from food shortage or diseases. And usually it's either curable or deadly. Stunting, the one we're going to focus on today, is a long-term form of malnutrition. A regular and constant deprivation of nutritious food creates growth retardation. And when that growth retardation happens in the first 1,000 days of a person's life, it's irreversible. We cannot take it back. 1,000 days ranges from the moment the child is conceived in the mother's womb to its second birthday. That's like, the construction period of your life. Whatever happens during that window determines who we become later. So, what is growth retardation? Actually, it's in every sense of the term. The muscles, the organs, the brain, the immunity system are all affected. And when children, for example, they reach school age, they cannot focus in class, they have lower IQ, they are tired, sick, and absent from school. When they get older, they are affected by chronic diseases, such as diabetes, cardiovascular problems. At working age, the motor deficiency doesn't enable them to be as efficient as they could in works such as labor or agriculture. And imagine those little girls, stunted little girls. They are at higher risk when they reach delivery because they have a smaller pelvis. And even worse, they help sustain the cycle of malnutrition because the children that are conceived in their womb didn't get the nutrients they need. So all of this together creates a less productive and unhealthy population. So what is the solution? What do we do? Technically, the answer is very simple. We have to make sure that the 3 food groups are available on our plates. The proteins that come from meat, fish, eggs, or when that's not available, from legumes such as beans, help build the body. We have the carbohydrate that we can get from grains, potatoes, and the likes that help give the energy that enables a child to grow, to thrive, to learn. And then, most importantly, we have the vitamins and minerals that we can get from vegetables and fruits. That's actually the most important part, because all the nutrients we get from the other groups stay in the body when the body is healthy and protected. But how do we go from that to reaching those millions of families that are at risk of producing stunted children? It's actually all of us together that we can work on it. Those of you working in youth empowerment, do you teach the young people how to eat better and how to feed their future children better? Those of you in children's centers, do you make sure that the food that you propose in those centers are balanced and diversified? The health sector, doctors, nurses, do you also talk about nutrition when you talk about medication? What about the environment? Are the soils and the water safe enough to produce nutritious food? and the agriculture sector, of course. That's where it comes from. What do we produce? Is it enough diversified? Is it available for the population? And last but not least, the education sector. We have to put back nutrition education in our schools. We have to teach our children from the very beginning what it is to eat right. So you see, it's all of us here together that we can make sure that the demographic power of Africa is a reality.